the current formulation of the stimulus bill is going to be voted on at some point today, possibly before this video is even posted online. And obviously there's a lot online there, but then there's also the concerns of the possibility of a government shutdown. Where do we stand in terms of that and the likelihood that the government will receive funding and that the bill will actually pass?
Right. Well, most viewers probably know that typically a funding bill is passed, in September in order to make sure that you're starting the new fiscal year ready to go and all the programs are funded so that there's no shutdown or interruption in government programs, whether it means funding national parks so that they can stay open, whether it means food safety, whether it means federal workers getting paychecks. All those are factors that get affected in the case of a government shutdown. And what we saw Congress do during the past 10 days or so is basically pass several short-term measures in order to keep the government funded while they deliberated on the stimulus. And they decided, okay, we'll do the government funding bill and we'll attach the stimulus to that. So it's all being passed as sort of one big package. They hope to do it all tonight. If there's any concern with that, they might have to pass some other kind of short-term bill. It does seem that they all want to, get this done and go back to their districts for the holidays and wrap up their business for the year. But it is until everything is done and signed and until the president, has put his signature on it, it is sort of this big unknown, leaving people in limbo. 2 million federal workers potentially affected in some way, even if they're not furloughed, meaning, that they're not working at all, they still might have their paychecks affected. So keeping everything running and hopefully them getting this done this evening or maybe even in the early hours of tomorrow morning will keep everything running smoothly.
And if things don't go smoothly and we do have another government shutdown, because of course, you don't have to go too far back in distant history to find shutdowns. America, for some reason, is like the only country that regularly has its government come to a screeching halt. This will be during this terrible crisis in terms of public health and a really bad economy. If this does shut down, is it gonna look a lot like past shutdowns, or is it gonna be more consequential in some way because of the pandemic that's ongoing?
Well, it would be so much worse because already we're living in this environment in the United States where so much has been shut down in order to try to stave off the virus. We've had restaurants shut down, we've had parks shut down, schools are still virtual. And so to think that we might have some sort of self-imposed shutdown can be really shocking. Everyone wants to avoid that scenario, it seems like, but until that's signed and done and bills have been passed, it's still up in the air. We only just saw the text for the bill released about an hour ago. And so lawmakers now have to review everything that's in it. What if they come across something that they really don't like and then they end up holding it up because they want to argue over a piece of the bill or they want it changed before passage? So there is still a lot of unknowns. We don't sort of sit back until everything's done. But this is a really tight timeline, and it's a really dangerous time to be doing this. The last government shutdown was 34 days. The longer they last, the more harmful it is. And to think that there's a possibility that even more people might not have paychecks at a time when we have such high unemployment is really shocking. And we need our government to be functioning and doing all of the services that it's doing because so much has ended and so much has been shut down in this COVID pandemic.
Well, hopefully things will go smoothly, but this is 2020. Why not have one little additional bit of chaos to end the year with? But in any event, Kimberly Leonard, Business Insider, thank you so much for joining us. Really do appreciate your reporting.
Thanks for having me.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.